Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and the buzz of electric lights is beginning to drain what's left of my brain power. I have been overscheduled for weeks, and it's triggering me to become even more socially awkward. And of course, we had snow before Christmas, which, while pretty, only adds to my stress. On the other hand, I've got a bunch of coffee as a Christmas present, and it's tasty. As all this stimuli bounces around in my brain, setting it into overload, I communicate in strange random outbursts. These are some random TTRPG thoughts. Let's roll it. Mornings. The trend of the algorithm lately is that Dungeontube is dying, or people are asking, is it dying? It's good catchy algorithm stuff, and frankly I'll probably even put it in the thumbnail for this video, but I'm not actually sure that's the problem. I think the problem is the algorithm rewards certain kinds of content, so if you're making a living off of YouTube, you're going to be caught in that churn just to stay afloat. And as Bob Worldbuilder pointed out, that kind of content tends to have a limited shelf life. So the algorithm chews it up and then spits it into the void after it sucks all the views it can get out of it. But you still can do slow burn content on YouTube. My game reviews, even years after they've been published, somehow keep getting hits and comments. And don't get me wrong, I would like YouTube to start pushing my videos to my subscribers' homepage again. That would be great, because I have taken a significant dip in my immediate views. But even while that's going on, my meager ad revenue has continued to go up a little bit. Now, most of that is thanks to the coffee contributors. Thank you so much, folks. You're awesome. But even without them, the regular AdSense growth has continued to kind of go up a little bit. Now, I do have a goal for the channel in the coming year. I'd like to hit that $100 a month mark so I can start backing more Kickstarters and maybe funding a convention trip, but I'm still trending the right way. My Dragonbane campaign is just about wrapped up. I love the system. I still adore the system. I'm just ready for a new challenge and maybe with a slightly different group. I also wanted to head back into the world of my own creation. So as I mentioned previously, I'm planning a Tales of Argosa campaign set in the same world as my previous basic fantasy RPG campaign. I have, however, set the timeline ahead about 700 years and moved it all to a different continent. Now that map is completed, as well as a zoom in on what I want to use for the starting area, known as the Barony of Gib. Now I got to create the initial hooks and local legends, roll up some characters, and off we will go. I've started a quick reread through the Electric State RPG because I still want to set up a few sessions of that for the coming year. It is an introspective system, and with a good group of players who can get into that style of play, it should be an entertaining as well as a thought-provoking time. This thing's sticking in my brain. I really need to get it to a table. From a pure mechanical perspective, Dolmanwood, it's just BXD&D. The flavor of the game, on the other hand, is amazing. I actually started reading Daggerheart, but then put it down because Dolmanwood just seems so interesting, comparatively speaking. To me, that is. And as I've been reading, I can imagine the different types of characters my friends would enjoy playing, which is a really good sign. The artwork, the writing, the layout, they're all beautiful. And the setting itself, it's just wild, old school folklore. I cannot wait to bring this to the channel and hopefully get it to a table where we can roll some dice. Yes. So Trump's renaming things illegally, but nobody's stopping him, so par for the course there. His stupid demolition project for his idiotic ballroom, apparently by the White House lawyer's own admission, compromised national security because it exposed the presidential bunker. Good job, guys. The release of the Epstein files is, no surprise, basically just a middle finger to the law that Trump signed. J.D. Vance says that Americans no longer have to apologize for being white, so the not-so-quiet part about who he thinks are actually Americans is right out there out loud now. Oh, and ICE's new tactic to avoid crowds when they do their stupid raids is to corral people off highways to do their kidnappings, and then they just leave the car by the road without telling anyone. But hey, invading Venezuela for its oil is a really good distraction, right? Oh, also, ICE had a commercial on before the Eagles Commanders game this weekend, and it looked like a bad 90s spoof, and it sounded like 1930s Germany. Joy. I must find time to write my Star Trek Adventures review. I must find time to write my Star Trek Adventures review. I must find time to write my Star Trek Adventures review. I must find time to write my Star Trek Adventures review. See, if I keep saying that over and over again, maybe the time will actually appear. Look, I love reviewing games. It's one of my favorite things, but I do need to get into a flow state to both write and produce them, which means no distractions. And the holidays are all distractions all the time, and the lights are really pretty, and that was a fun party last week, but what was I saying and where am I again? I'm tired. So my Numenera session last week was a blast, and I did next to nothing. I brought the group into the setting, introduced some of the social dynamics and a couple of notable features of where they are, and then sat back as they went full paranoia. So they were talking about what they'd seen and what they thought it meant, and I was just sitting back there taking notes. I did set up a nice combat for them, which they did a great job handling, and they got to hang out in a little pub where one character is now trying to learn a chess-like game, which I will now figure out in-game mechanics for so he can have some fun with it while also using it in a way that matters for the story. It should be kind of interesting. Look, I love it when the table starts writing their own observations into the world. It is the best. And we will have to see what they've done to themselves, if indeed they've done anything to themselves. So Hobbs gave me a copy of Bite the Bullet out at Gamehole, and I've been able to read about half of it, and it's basically a zine. It's not that long. It's pretty short. But there's a nice bit of depth to it, and I want to be able to finish reading it in a way that'll help me process the game's design a little bit to talk about it, because it's kind of fun. I've also got Project Sunflower. It's been on the shelf for almost a year now. Somebody gave this to me as a review copy, and it seems really cool. It's a really neat setup. It's kind of got a Last of Us feel, and there's just so many games, and I love it. I want to give a Christmas shout out to Chris, who's been hanging around the channel for a good long while, and he's got a new channel called Play Journal, which is all about the benefits of recreation. Chris is a retired teacher, and he's just finding his footing on the platform. So please go give him a look. And if you could leave some comments or drop a subscription for him, that would help out someone as they start this new journey. I think that would be wonderful. Finally, folks, I know I make fun of the holiday season being a giant vampire, which is sucking away my life energy. I mean, that's what it is for me, but there's also fun to be had along the way. So with all the holidays that are going on right now and Christmas about to crash down upon me, I want to say happy holidays to all of you. In all the noise, I hope you find moments of peace and reflection, but even more, I hope you find moments of joy with friends and family, born or chosen. In the new year, may that joy guide us to build a world which is more kind, more compassionate, and more just. And may it be filled with TTRPGs we actually have time to play. I'm not going to do any big shout out or call to action or announce what's coming up on the channel to end this video, folks. There's a lot coming, trust me. I just want to say thanks to everyone for your support, and until we see each other again, happy playing, everyone.